Welcome inside the January 26th edition of Vikings Update. I am Mark Potts, Sports Information Director at Valley City State University. We are full swing into conference basketball season. Some big rivalry games at the University of Jamestown. We have highlights from those coming up. And indoor track season is in full swing. We will talk with head coach Chris Johnson, our guest later in the show, about the start of the indoor track season. But first, basketball highlights on the way. Viking women's basketball at Jamestown on Wednesday night, taking on the number 12 ranked team in the country. VCSU built a 28-22 lead midway through the second quarter, but Jamestown ended the half with a 20-4 run, taking control of the game. Jimmies picked up the 83-65 victory. Georgia Williams led the Vikings with 16 points. Allie Vandal added 13 in the loss. Vikings were hampered by poor three-point shooting, going just 2 for 12 from three-point range. On Saturday, the Vikings bounced back into the win column with a 78-54 road victory at Presentation College. Allie Vandal had 11 points to lead a balanced scoring attack. Mackenzie Huber, big game inside, 9 points and 8 rebounds. Viking women are now 11-7 overall and 4-1 in conference play. On to men's basketball, where the Viking men suffered a pair of losses this week, their first back-to-back losses all season. On Wednesday, VCSU was at Jamestown, dropped a 96-90 game. Very choppy game. 69 total fouls were called, leading to 100 free throw attempts. 5 Vikings and 3 Jimmies fouled out of the game. The Vikings trailed by as many as 15 in the first half, rallied to cut the deficit to 1 point twice in the second half, but could not complete the comeback. Daryl Howell scored 29 points for Valley City State, Jaden Ferguson added 19, and Justin Galloway posted a 15-10 double-double in the loss. On Saturday, another tough conference road game for the Vikings, taking on a talented Presentation College team. The Saints won a back-and-forth game 77-73. Nate Vieira knocked down 3 threes and led the Vikings with 16 points. Viking men are now 16-6 overall and 4-2 in conference play. Viking basketball back home Wednesday night with a conference doubleheader against Dakota State University. Women tip at 5:30, men at 7:30. It is the first women's home game since December 5th. On Saturday, VCSU will travel to Dickinson State for a doubleheader at 4 and 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Exciting news to share today as the Beck Broadcasting Network has announced plans to broadcast 6 VCSU basketball games on its Beck Prime channel. Beck will produce and televise VCSU's home doubleheader this Wednesday, along with doubleheaders on February 3rd and February 10th. Check out VCSUVikings.com to learn more. The North Star Athletic Association has released its preseason baseball and softball coaches polls. In baseball, Valley City State is picked 4th out of 10 teams. Conference newcomer Bellevue is the favorite to win the league. In softball, Valley City State also picked to finish 4th out of 9 teams. Vikings are in their first year under head coach Michael Mook. Dickinson State is a favorite to win the softball title. And we'll close this week's show with everything track and field. Vikings had their first indoor meet of the season January 16th, and from that meet, 2 Vikings earned Conference Athlete of the Week honors. Andrew Hannerty was named the Field Athlete of the Week, and Nicholas Ernst was named Track Athlete of the Week, so congrats to Andrew and Nicholas. Second meet of the season was January 22nd at the University of St. Thomas. Vikings finished with 10 top 8 finishes at the meet. Andrew Hannerty placed second in triple jump and third in long jump to lead the Vikings. The VCSU men's 4x400 relay team had another strong showing as well, placing third at the meet. On the women's side, Emerald Damji and Geneva Espinoza both had 6th place finishes. Vikings are in action again Saturday at Concordia College in Moorhead. Our guest this week on Vikings Update, Chris Johnson, head track and field and cross-country coach here at Valley City State. And, Coach, you are 2 weeks into the indoor season, 2 meets under your belt. Obviously you've had some practice before that. Your general thoughts on how the season has started for you guys?
Obviously, the growth has been tremendous. I can't say enough about the team and how hard the kids are working in practice. Last year, our team had 18 individuals total, men's and women's team, and now we have 21 just on the men's team alone. Right. So with a little more firepower, obviously that's been helping us in meets. Our first meet of the season here in the second semester at Bemidji State, we did very well. Our men won close to half the events at the meet. Not great competition, but good enough. I mean, there's a couple Division II teams there. It was solid, and we wound up getting rewarded for that. Andrew Hanratty won the Field Athlete of the Week for the North Star Conference. Nicholas Ernst won the Track Athlete for of the Week for the Field North Star Conference. So it's a great accomplishment by both of those kids. They weren't the only ones that really did well in that meet, though, and it showed at the St. Thomas meet too. It was a tough situation. It was a Friday meet, 4.5 hour bus ride, and the kids responded well. Some of them had some PR performances, so I'm expecting even better this weekend at Concordia. There's going to be some fantastic competition, probably the best we're going to face the entire indoor season. We're going to have U of Mary there, UND is going to be there, half of NDSU. Northern State, Moorhead, a lot of Division II, Division I competition that is going to drive these kids to get better and run faster, jump further, throw further. So
yeah, you mentioned that first meet of the season. I think your guys won 5 or 6 events at that one. At the St. Thomas invite, both teams had, I think, 12 top 10 finishes combined. Competing against some strong athletes there, some University of Minnesota unattached athletes there, so some really good competition. Concordia meet, as you mentioned, going to be good competition. What have you seen, though, from the first week of indoor practice until now? Have you seen a lot of progression from the kids?
Yeah, it's been an adjustment practicing in a winter show building. It's basically a giant barn, but we've gotten really imaginative with how we've set up the practices. We've put some runways in there. We have a throwing ring. We've really used the entire winter show, sprinting wise, to do different things. We do some speed stuff on the concrete. Not too much so that really hurts the kids' shins and knees, but we do some full speed stuff on the dirt, and we open up that door that divides the winter show in half, and we'll run all the way through. And it's basically just about getting them what they need and getting them to put in the effort each day at practice to get better, and just getting them to forget that we're practicing on dirt, we're in a barn, right. Which I think they have. I mean, they've really adjusted well. There haven't been any complaints really whatsoever, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting warmer and getting back on the outdoor track, but making the best of the situation right now, and it's really been great.
A couple more meets left in the indoor season. You'll have the North Star conference meets coming up later in February as well. Do you have some goals going into those conference meets and potentially national meet?
Obviously, the conference meet, I think on the men's side, we can definitely beat a few teams. Cross country, we beat Dakota State on the men's and women's side. I think we can do even more than that on the men's side. Women's side, we lack some depth, obviously. Hopefully, that will continue to grow in the coming years. But, we hope to beat a team or two on that side as well. And individual conference championship performance, all conference performances, that's what we're really shooting for. We have a couple individuals who are very close to national caliber. They're not going to run their best races or throw their furthest at the beginning of the season. So I'm really excited what's going to happen in the coming weeks. Hopefully, if they don't make it to the conference championship meet, we'll try to get to a last chance meet or another meet for them to potentially qualify for. But, I'm excited to see what the next couple weeks bring.
Right. It's been exciting to see the great start to the season, and we're looking forward to what the athletes can do next couple meets as well. Chris, appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you, Mark.